Hello, my name is Alex Weiss. I'm a senior sales engineer at Tacton, and this is a quick concept demo for Tacton's product selector for the fluid handling industry. The goal of this demo is to give you a preview of the types of selector capabilities that would enable your complex pumping technologies to streamline your SCPQ process. So again, this is something on our roadmap. We're actively developing it, and so wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of what's in store. So the part of this demo, I'm playing the role of a senior sales specialist called Jamie Caldwell. And then next would be the selector piece. So this is now where you're going to enter in your conditions of service. For this specific, again, concept demo, we'll go ahead and choose the split case horizontal pump. Navigate over to fluid types and say that this will be a water application. Update my system constraints here to 15 psi. And then say there is an explosion risk. So as part of this, you can see now we've entered the conditions of service, but also notice on the right-hand side is the selection assistant. So just to pause here for a minute, the selection assistant is going to be a very important part of our process going forward. This is going to be our AI sales assistant that will enable you to add comments, put in natural language there that will help you make selections, might help you within configuration, and will act as that solution consultant, that product expert throughout the configuration and selection process. Also notice other things like this little paperclip icon here. So there will be the ability to upload PDFs as well and leverage that for information, leverage that as part of the process. So as part of this demo though, we'll go ahead and prompt the sales assistant here saying that, you know what, we're actually setting up a fire protection system in a lower fire protection zone for a high-rise building, and we need a horizontal split case fire pump that meets NFPA 20 standards. So the pump has to handle its 1000 GPM at 150 PSI. Now, this will be what we'll input into the selection assistant. And now the return is a suggestion updating the pump series, the flow rate, and the pressure requested. So once we click make selection, you can see it was kind of quick, but we had some updates throughout the selection process. At this point, I'm comfortable to move on with my actual configuration. So before we get to configuration, on the next page here, you can see this will be now where we select the pump to configure. So you have different series. You can have all of your series listed here. Of course, your match percentage. You can decide if you'd like to view it in a grid. In the grid, you can see the performance curves of the pump. So this might be an ideal way to make the selection, or list form. And here is a side-by-side comparison of the different pump series. And you can see that little configure icon once we choose to configure. Now, maybe this is what we choose to do, or perhaps I want to add some additional services. If that's the case, right, I can open up my selection assistant again, and we can prompt with some more information that could share with us some different selections based on historical information. But what I'm actually going to do next is go back into my summary and choose to configure a highest match. Now you can see in configuration, right? This can be an example of some of the different options and selections that we can make, such as the flow rate adjustment. You can see things like pricing, price execution, of course, will be done within Tacton. At this point, this will be kind of typical of what you've seen from Tacton already from a configuration standpoint. Um, but again, hopefully, by seeing that first part, it gives you kind of a better understanding of some of the key things that we're working on to really equip and enable. And to kind of summarize this, though, Tacton is really committed to being on the cutting edge of new technology. The goal is to really empower selling of complex products. And again, hopefully you saw that with the selector concept, inputting those conditions of service, this AI sales assistant to help with real life scenarios for that SCPQ process, and then having those comparisons before you actually choose to configure the pump. Thank you for watching.